Hi everybody, I'm Nikki and this is Camper and we live in this 2006 Toyota Prius. Today we are talking budget. We're getting really deep into the money and how much it costs to live in a car full time.
Hi friends, I'm Nikki Delventhal. It's always been my unconventional dream to live out of my Prius full time to explore the Americas and its natural beauty. So in the winter of 2019 going into 2020, I hit the road and never looked back. A year in, the unexpected happened. I was camping in the desert and set for a remote hiking trail in the middle of nowhere. An abandoned puppy came chasing after my car and joined me for my hike. He melted my heart and changed my life, and he's been with me ever since. My best friend and my little car camper. That's his name, Camper. We're so honored to have you along for our journey, so please subscribe, turn on notifications, and come along with us.
I went through my bank statements for the past year and a half and based it into categories. And I averaged out what it was in each category for every month. I even put in categories that perhaps I don't spend money on, but that you might. So that way you can adjust the number based on yourself. So that way you can get a nice roundabout if this is something you're thinking about. If this is something you plan for the future. Something else I did too is add some stuff that maybe you haven't thought about yet. Something that's important to me is saving, investing, and giving back. Health insurance, car insurance, doing everything really smart, right? Just because we live in a car doesn't mean life stops. Watch out there. It doesn't mean we don't work anymore. It doesn't mean we're not planning for our future. It just means we live in a car. I'm not gonna get too deep into this, but I think before we start judging people, perhaps we should have perspective first. We're happy like this, and we're still doing the same thing we would under a roof, but now we're mobile. So let's talk budget and money on a monthly basis. Shower rag going to the other side. If you're looking for a specific number, one thing to keep in mind is lifestyle, because this number can change drastically based on your preferences and lifestyle. What I mean by that is if you want to stay at campsites, what type of rig you have. We have a car, but let's say you had an RV or a van and you wanted to hook it up to electricity, you need a dump station. If you're wild camping and doing free camping, or if you're doing paid camping. If you eat out, I've probably gone to a restaurant twice this entire year. I only buy groceries and I cook for myself. If you have a dog, just different factors that will change the number quite a bit. It's all gonna be based on your personal style. Again, I'm gonna tell you the number based on mine and even put in the categories that I think other people might want to throw in there so you can change your number based on that. Categories we're gonna get into: gas, food, water, camping, laundry, insurance, repairs, maintenance, saving, investing, donating. This is a new thing that I can finally do now that I'm making a little bit of a higher income. I'll tell you all about it later. My heart is literally exploding. Okay, I'll tell you about it later. Okay, dog bills, vets, and just extras. Again, this is my approach to living in a car. It might not be yours. So if you don't agree with things, that's okay. If you do agree with things, or maybe you pick up some tips, awesome, that's the point here. Also keeping in mind what's really important to you. Personal hygiene is very important to me. Comfortable bed is really important to me. So I might spend more on showers than you. Let's talk numbers. I made a spreadsheet. So also for anyone wondering how I work, if I don't go to a coffee shop or outside of a McDonald's or Starbucks with Wi-Fi, I turn my phone into a hotspot. So spreadsheet so we can talk numbers. Each category, I'm gonna go into how it might vary for you. So let's start with number one, gas. I have a Toyota Prius. That's a hybrid. With the roof box and the bike on the back, I average 32 miles per gallon and we drive a lot. I like moving around a lot, so my gas will cost me anywhere from $150 to $300 a month. Might be different for you. Check out how much mileage your car takes. If you want to stay in one place, if you want to move every day, gas is going to vary. Food and groceries. For me, food and groceries is snack dependent. I freaking love snacks. So I'll spend anywhere from $250 to $400 just on my bougie snacks. Water. So for me, I always refill my water. I even have water purifiers and gravity filters so I can refill at a fresh water source. But if that's not available, I'll take my jugs and I will refill them at a grocery store or something like that. So I always budget in about $15 for water just in case. Coffee. I make my own coffee every day and it's a pretty bougie coffee setup, I'm not gonna lie. Because that's one of the things that's so important to me and one of my favorite times of day. I also have a budget for going to coffee shops, also because I will work from coffee shops. So I put about $30 to $50 in that fund a month. Next is camping. So in the past year and a half, I've only purchased maybe 10 camp spots. I personally like to wild camp and find free camp spots. Whether that means if I'm driving through a city and I stay at a Walmart or I go on to forest land, my camping style is free, yours might not be. Hotels and things of the sort. So once every 2 months, I might get Camper and I a room for 2 or 3 nights to reset. You know, just like living in a house, right? You start to feel cooped up and you need to go on vacation. For us, we adventure so much that sometimes I feel like I need the opposite and I need a vacation where I just like lay in bed and we chill and maybe just go for a run to get his energy out. So it's like the opposite, you know, that's how you are. When you have one thing, you need a break from it. So I'll budget in a few $100 every 2 months for that. Depending on the type of hotel I want, it's usually basic. Laundry. We do laundry once every 2 weeks. I have an immense amount of underwear for the fact that I don't like doing laundry. So $24 a month, maybe do it twice. Side note, a lot of laundry mats also have showers and they're coin showers. So I always have a roll of $15 of quarters in my car. Showers. I do have a video on showers if you want to learn how I take free showers. Otherwise, I budget about $50 a month on showers, truck stop showers, stopping by camp spots, things like that. Personal hygiene is so important to me. I want to shower every single day in some way. Toiletries and skincare. I take my skincare routine very, very seriously. Eye cream, serum, all that stuff, shampoo, conditioner. Maybe $65 a month. That also includes toiletries, so new deodorant, things like that as that comes along. Restaurants is something, I spend $0 there. I've gone out to eat maybe twice in the past year. I like to just cook my own food, but if you're a foodie, make sure you put that into your budget. Almost forgot about this. Alcohol. So I know a lot of people who have really crazy bar tabs or spend a lot of money on alcohol. I am not a big drinker, never have been, so I maybe have a glass of wine once every 2 weeks, or maybe a craft brew after a really big hike. Oh, I do have a kombucha budget though. I drink kombucha almost every single day, so wow. I probably spend 50 to 100 bucks on kombucha. That's how much I love it. Cooking and fuel, jet fuel, or single burner stove fuel, I throw maybe $5 to $10 in for that a month. Now let's get into some miscellaneous items. Things that maybe don't necessarily fall into other categories, but I spend money on depending on the location. Car washes and vacuums. Depending on where I am, I will vacuum out my car once a week and get a car wash. Now, if I'm in Utah or somewhere like that, it happens a lot more often. That's where a roll of quarters also comes in handy, as I'll go to self car washes. Love those. Depending on where you are, there may be toll roads. For instance, the Northeast, tons of tolls. You will spend so much money just going state to state. Park fees. So if you enjoy the outdoors, if you enjoy going to national parks, state parks, fees are going to happen. One thing you can do is a national park pass for the year. That's $80. That will also get you into some forest land. State parks, if you plan on being in one state for a long time, get the annual pass for the state parks. Things like that. It can be anywhere from $5 a day to $35 for an entry. So keep in mind where you want to go. That's going to be part of miscellaneous as well. That number changes a lot, but let's just say 50 bucks. Totals for those necessary expenses are anywhere between $600 and $900 a month. So that's your basic living bills. Phone bill, car insurance, and health insurance. Before I move on to bills, as this is going to tie into everything else I talk about next, is how things change as my income increased. Prior to a few months ago, the max I've made in a year is maybe $29,000 a year. Like I've explained in my other videos, none of my career decisions have been based on money. It's been out of passion. And I've always lived very frugally, so I never felt like I was struggling. With that being said, now that I make a little bit more than that, I do work freelance, so it's not a steady salary. I will make maybe between $30,000 to $60,000 a year right now. Why I say that is because I want to tell you what changes depending on if you make more. So for me, the number I just told you is not going to change as far as the necessities, but they will change for the next stuff I talk about. So my budget stays the same no matter how much money I make. If it ever changes, I'll make another video. Pre-income increase between phone, health insurance, and car insurance, I was spending just under $400 maybe between those three things. With the slight income increase, I'm now going to be spending maybe more like $600 or $700. So one thing to think about is your bills and if you want to be covered in an emergency. Personally, if there's an emergency, I don't want to chance it. Don't get me started about the healthcare system here, but it could really, really mess you up for life. So I always think smart. Next category is something that I think is really important for everyone to do and to set themselves up for later in life. So what I have here is my savings, emergency, retirement, and give back fund. Let's get into each category. Savings, investment, and retirement. So ever since I was 15 years old, I have always put some money into my savings. And that's what made it so comfortable for me to make life-changing decisions and really risky decisions and go after them without fear. That is going to be for emergencies. That's going to be for retirement. Whatever it is, I'm going to continue to put savings in there. I like to put away money in into stocks or a robo-investor or like a retirement fund. Now, when this number went up, I'm putting now, instead of 500, more like 1,000 to 1,500 into that retirement and savings. By the way, this also goes to the fun fund. I have a huge passion for travel and cultural immersion, so I also put my travel expenses here so I can go on trips. I'm not talking vacations where I'm spending $10,000 to stay on an overwater bungalow. I'm talking $20 a night to stay in a hostel, take public transportation with the locals, stay with the locals, things like that. So I'm able to travel so much because, you know, I don't need to go to fancy restaurants. I'm not going to shows. I'm literally living like a local. So my travel fund goes a very long way. Now let's talk donating. What do I do with the excess? And this is my favorite part of being able to make more. Do I make a lot? No, but I don't have a family and all I have is camper. I've always had a passion towards helping people and having a platform to make the world a better place. And I've always wanted to be able to do that, especially with money, but I've never been in the position to be able to do that. And with my current income increase, you know, so many people are confused by the fact that I don't just put it away. So I just recently started a donation fund. I'm like so excited about this. And I signed on my first sponsor. So what's happening is I am putting, this is my first month doing it, I put $2,500 into a donation fund. So I actually put up a Facebook post yesterday and yay! I asked anyone to point people to me who couldn't pay their medical bills or had a dog that they had to euthanize because they couldn't pay for the surgery or things along those lines. And I got my first dog. This is her. I was tagged by a high school friend in their friend's post. I didn't know this girl and now I'm super excited about it. She's been fostering dogs for 8 years and just got one that was dumped and has so many medical issues and it needs to be adopted. So if you want to adopt this dog, I'm going to put in the description how you can do that or how you can help with this Give Back Fund and help me grow it so we can keep helping people and animals. So there's going to be more on this as I continue to do this. I'm going to put out videos and show you what I do with my donation fund. So passionate about this. I'm like, I can finally help. I'm just like so happy. I can finally help people with what I'm making. So thanks to you guys. You know, like I make money in other ways, but now I make money on YouTube also. So all the extra ad revenue from companies that reach out can help people. And so if you do want to help, there's going to be how to do that in the description. Let's change the world, people. Like, this is what this world needs. I'm hoping that this program can grow and that I do it right. Okay, went a little bit off track there, but this is like a really big passion project for me and I've never had the means to do a passion project like this. So let's talk final numbers, okay? Oh God, yes. Oh, and another thing is dog expenses. If you have a dog, food, treats, tick and flea prevention, vet bills, and I do recommend having a savings account for your dog, just for any emergency medical bills, things like that. Maybe you want dog insurance, just a thought. Another thing, I said how things would change based on my income. Donation fund will definitely go up if my income increases as well. Final numbers, I'm gonna do a little roundabout here. If I did not save and invest and I just paid for the necessity and I didn't have a dog, $1,000 to $1,400. Could be less, could be more based on your lifestyle. With a dog, $1,400 to $1,800. So this all just really depends on what you want to spend and how you want to spend it. I hope this helps you. If you have any other questions, throw them in the comments and I'm going to keep trying to make videos. Sorry this one wasn't as interactive with fun content, but this is more just an informational, numbers-based. Here it is. Before I go, and looks like Camper is just taking a little nap behind me. I want to check him out. Look how cute he is. Yes, good boy. Another thing before I go, everyone who keeps asking me who films this, I have 3 different types of tripods and one of them is just on my dash right now. And don't forget, like, subscribe, share with your friends, turn on notifications, comment. Camper and I will show you everything you need to see and teach you everything you need to know. Thanks for stopping by. See you next time. Always budget in nap time. Don't forget, the best things in life are usually free.